What's been tough about today?
Okay, that's a great question. What's been tough about today is I decided. So I lost like part of my morning today, and I did it on purpose because I knew it'd be more helpful. So I came in now to do the podcast. So I took out like the first 2 hours of my day where normally obviously I'd be at the office, and a Monday is so today is, by the way, we're shooting this on a Monday. Mondays are really, really important and really busy for me because a whole weekend has gone where I haven't worked really. So it's like almost 3 days worth of work to do rather than just one. And so on Monday, I'm always stacked. And today I decided to come in a bit later so that I could, be at home. And what's tough about that is my patience wears quite thin. I find it hard. I think one of my biggest challenges is to okay, so when you're like doing for example, a good deed, right? You're often having to sacrifice for that good deed. If we name a good deed of praying, right? Like praying is a deed that has to be done. It's mandatory. But it's a good deed that has to be done. But you're sacrificing something for it. And for praying, for example, you're sacrificing time. You're sacrificing the ability to focus on anything else. You have to have khushu at that time. Or if you talk about a good deed like giving sadaqah, you're sacrificing money. If you're talking about fasting, you're sacrificing food. But there's always a sacrifice with good deeds. And what I find hard is this concept of sabrun jameel, which is to do a good deed, but then to not make it seem like that's affected you. I find sometimes maybe the good deed easy, but I find it hard to show. I find it hard not to show that I've sacrificed something, and then that's hard for me. So I've had to sacrifice 2 hours of my morning, which I chose to do, but I find it hard to just like let it slide. Like I'm like, oh, like I could be working right now, I could be doing this, I could be doing that. I had all these things to do. And I find it hard to like show, okay, look, if you're going to do something, like either do it properly and like do it how you want to do it with ihsan, or don't do it at all, because there's no fun doing a good deed and moaning about it, is there? And so I think that I find tough that, and I need to work on that element. Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, you're absolutely right. But you know what it is, bro? I think just don't say. Well, this is my. I wouldn't say if you do something good, and like you said, or don't do it at all. Don't think don't all do it at all. I think you should like.
Yeah, I guess.
You understand what I mean? Because better to do something, and even if you disliked doing it, but you did it, because there's more chance that will bring you closer to Allah. Because what shaitan wants is to give, there's that thing, isn't it, where like to obtain khushu in prayer, you may, like somebody may say, oh, okay, I remember one sheikh told us this. So for example, like imagine you're praying and somebody's watching you and you go into ruku and you wanted to do a long ruku and you think in your head, imagine, I don't know how you think all these things in that time, but in your head you think, oh, Faisal's watching me, so I'm not going to do a long ruku, because if he thinks I'm doing a long ruku because he's watching me, then it's like not me being sincere. So I'm not going to do a long ruku, and you do a short ruku. That's actually wrong. It's better to say, Faisal's watching me. He may think that I'm doing it to please him, but I'm not. I'm doing it to please Allah, because you're not stopping yourself from doing a good deed. Shaitan's trick is to put something in your head to stop you from doing something which is pleasing to Allah. So whenever that happens, it's always better to do more of it, even if it feels like you're doing it to please somebody else, or you're not happy doing profound. It, or whatever it is. Yeah, because you're actually getting done what Allah wanted you to do. And there's more chance that you're going to come closer to Allah. But Shaitan's trick is weird, isn't it? Shaitan
he wants you to not do it, so you're right. Wow.
Yeah. So you just got to be very, very careful. That's just the way I've looked at it, and we've been told, do more, even if you feel that you're not in a position to do it. Because that's Shaitan's trick, to say, oh man, you didn't, how can you even do this? Like, you didn't pray Fajr, how can you pray Dhuhr? Do you understand what I mean? Like, then you wouldn't do anything, right? You'd stop. So yeah, just be careful with that, inshallah.
Wow, yeah, that's really profound, man. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. That's really, really benefited me. That's really, really profound. Thank you.